All right, class, we're going to talk about two very important verbs in Spanish, ser and estar. Both ser and estar mean to be. So, to be or to be, that is the question. The difference is ser is used when referring to the essence of something, and estar is used when referring to the condition of something. For example, if I say la chica es alegre, notice I'm using es, which comes from ser. La chica es alegre means the girl is happy, but it's the essence of who she is. She's a happy person. Whereas if I'm saying la chica está alegre, I'm saying the girl is comes from estar. The girl is happy, feeling right now. That's a condition. That's how she feels currently. Likewise, I could say Billy es de Toronto. Billy is from Toronto. Notice that I use es, which comes from ser, and I'm talking about where he is from, the essence of who he is, as opposed to if I say Billy está en Aurora, I'm saying Billy is in Aurora right now. That's a condition. That's where he is right now. So these are the general ideas of the difference between ser and estar. And let's break that down, look at the conjugations, and talk about some more specific explanations for this. So ser, first of all, again, the essence of something. You use it for origin, talking about where someone's from. You can talk about physical description, he is tall. Relationship, he is my friend, my brother. Occupation, possession, the pen is Billy's. Time, date, and event location. And that's a tricky one. Event location, because usually you think of location as being a conditional thing. But when you're talking about an event's location, like the party is at the school, you would say es, not está, because you're talking about where an event is located, the essence of the event. Kind of tricky. So let's look at conjugation. Yo soy de Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Tú eres muy alto. You are very tall. Él, ella, or usted es. Hoy es el 2 de agosto. Notice that I'm using this for today. Today is talking about date. Today is August 2nd. For nosotros or nosotras, you're going to say somos. So somos amigos. Again, that's a relationship. We are friends. Vosotros or vosotras would be sois. Lola y tú sois muy importantes. You two are very important. I'm sorry, that's incorrect there. Excuse that. Lola and you are very important. Ellos, ellas, ustedes son las 6 de la mañana. And notice I'm talking about time right there. In fact, we're going to talk about that more thoroughly in just a second. Let's talk about that right now, in fact. Time and date. When you're saying time or date, you use ser. So, a couple questions you might hear. ¿Qué hora es? What hour is it? We would say, what time is it? They're saying, what hour is it? So, there's a couple ways to answer these. Let me just flip all these out here, and then we're going to talk through all of these points about time. First of all, notice that when I'm referring to the hour of 1, notice I refer to the hour of 1, and I also refer to the hour of 1 there. So in these two top examples, I'm referring to the hour of 1. Notice the question is, what hour is it? If I'm asking what hour is it, and I'm referring to 1, I would say it is. That's singular, es. La, see how those are both singular? It is the 1, or the hour of 1. It's 1, es la una. Okay? Whereas if I'm referring to 11 or 8, notice I'm referring to 11 o'clock and 8 o'clock. When I'm referring to those, I don't say es la, I say son las. Son las 11 or son las 8. So that's the first thing to understand about telling time. The second thing is if you're referring to the minutes, you either say y or menos. If you're saying it's 10 after 1, you'd say it's 1 and 10. If you're saying it's quarter till 1, you'd say it's 1 menos cuarto. Notice that's another point I had to bring up. When you're referring to 30, you don't say 30, you say media. And when you're saying 15, you don't say quince, you say cuarto. Everything else you would just use the numbers. So if I'm saying it's 10 after 1, I'd say es la una, it is 1 and 10. If I'm saying it's quarter till 1, I'd say es la una menos, because it's not yet 1 o'clock. It's 1 minus a quarter. If I were to say it's 10 till 1, I'd say es la una menos diez, not y diez. All right? One more thing to point out about telling time. De la mañana means in the morning. De la tarde means in the afternoon. De la noche means at night. All right, so that's how they say AM and PM. De la mañana, de la tarde, or de la noche. And that's how you tell time. Now, what if I wanted to know at what time something was happening? This is slightly different. For instance, what if I said, at what time is the flight? ¿A qué hora es la vuelta? The answer could be la vuelta es. Notice it's always going to be es because the question said at what time is such and such. La vuelta es a la una y cuarto. The flight is at quarter after 1. Or if I'm saying what time is the class, ¿a qué hora es la clase? La clase es. Notice I still said es even though it's a plural time. I'm saying es because the question asked at what time is the class. The class is a las tres. Notice las is still plural, but I didn't make es plural there because I'm not telling time. I'm talking about an event. All right? La clase es a las 3 menos 5. The class is at 5 till 3. Finally, let's talk about date. If I'm asking what's the date today, ¿cuál es la fecha de hoy? ¿Cuál actually means which. ¿Cuál es la fecha? Fecha means date. What is the date of today? You want to say today is, notice there's the verb es. Hoy es el 3 de agosto. Notice in Spanish, they say the day and then the month. Today is August 3rd. There's one little exception to that. Instead of saying 1, if you're referring to the first day of a month, you wouldn't say uno, you would say primero. Today is March 1st. You'd say es el primero, it is the 1st of March. Es el primero, not es el uno de marzo. It just sounds better to say that. All right, let's practice with ser real quick. Do these very quickly. De donde eres, where are you from? Notice you are from. De means of. Donde, where you are. Of where are you or where are you from? La clase es divertida. The class is fun, describing the class. Yo soy maestro. I'm describing my occupation. That's why I'm using ser. Es importante ser simpático. By the way, impersonal phrases often, I didn't put that on there, but in impersonal phrases like it is important, that uses ser as well. Es importante ser simpático. It's important to be nice. Hoy es lunes. Notice I'm talking about date. Lunes means Monday. Today is Monday. El 5 de mayo. Ellos son tan interesantes. Describing people. They are so interesting. Let's go English to Spanish now. I am from Chicago would be soy de Chicago or yo soy de Chicago. It's good to study. Es bueno estudiar. Again, that's a impersonal phrase. Es bueno. It is good to study. It's 10:30 in the morning. Son las 10:30. Don't forget, you don't say 30, you say media. Media means half, by the way. Son las 10:30 de la mañana. We are from Peru. Somos de Peru. Notice that's talking about origin. The class is at 1:15. La clase es is a la, not a las, a la, because una is singular. A la 1:15. Y means like after, right? Quarter after, so y cuarto and a quarter. And the party is at school. Notice this is talking about an event location, so you would use ser here. La fiesta es en la escuela, describing the party in this location. All right, so let's talk about Estar. Estar is a little bit easier to figure out. When you're thinking Estar, there's a little phrase that you probably will hear in class. How you feel and where you are is when you use the verb estar. So conjugating would be estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis if you're in Spain, and están. Now, notice that I am not spending a lot of time to talk about the progressive tense, but I am going to point out that estar is used for not only feelings and emotions and location rather, but also in the progressive tense it is used. And a progressive tense would be like right here, you are watching. That's the progressive tense. So usted está mirando. This is to use in English we would say watching, ing. In Spanish they take the R off and they put ando for an AR verb or yendo for an ER or an IR verb. So you are watching would be estás or está mirando una película. If you wanted to say I am playing, you would say estoy jugando al basketball. Now there are some irregulars to the progressive tense, but not very many. So I'm not going to talk about that right now. You'll learn that at a later point. So look at another progressive tense would be, we will see those actually in just a minute in our examples. Oh, here we go. Bailando means dancing. Comiendo means eating. Let's look at some examples of estar. ¿Dónde estás? Where are you? Notice this is different than the other question. ¿De dónde eres? That means where are you from? De means from. ¿Dónde estás? Just means where are you currently? Where are you right now? La chica está deprimida. The girl is depressed. Billy está debajo del escritorio. Billy is under the desk. Notice I'm talking about location. Estamos contentos con el examen. We are happy with the exam. That's a condition, how we are feeling. Mis hermanos están bailando. There's the progressive tense. My brothers are dancing. Estamos preparándote la comida. I'm getting a little tricky here, but notice what you can attach the direct object pronoun, or indirect actually. That's just an object pronoun. You can attach that to the end of the ando or yendo. And if you do, make sure you put the accent mark where needed, just like you did that with infinitives as well. So estamos preparándote, we are preparing you the food, or preparing the food for you. I am in Chicago, estoy en Chicago. They are very nervous, ellos están muy nerviosos. Notice it has to agree right there. Nerviosos has to agree. My dad is listening to me. Mi padre está escuchándome. He is listening to me, escuchándome. I am at the park, estoy al parque. Are you helping? Estás ayudando. Helping, right? There's the ing, ando. Ing, ando. Ing, ando. Now those are all AR verbs, but an ER or an IR verb would be iendo. Yendo. They are excited. Están emocionados. So there are, that's the difference between ser and estar, along with a bunch of examples. I know this was a lot of information, but now you can go and practice it and drill down even more closely into figuring out the details of all this. This just takes practice. If you were born in, let's say, Mexico, you wouldn't even think twice about ser and estar. You probably wouldn't even think of them as the same word either. They're completely different ideas, completely different concepts. And so what's confusing for us in English a lot of times is because we're trying to translate straight from English into Spanish. Remember, try not to do that. Try to understand the Spanish that you're trying to say and express that idea directly into Spanish, not from English into Spanish. Try to express your thoughts and your ideas directly into Spanish if at all possible.